This should be as easy as it should be. It is right now 5:22 p.m. Eastern Time, April 19, 2026. Same as feeling always. Do you know how many times I slammed this desk on the right side of my angle from at least 47 degrees tilt? Exactly, a lot of times. But here we'll be discussing some really great news and some bad news and some things I want to say. Before we get on mine, make sure to scratch the gem. We're trying to reach the 10K goal. My past video exploded. As a matter of fact, it has like almost 500 views. It's starting to go up. And I guess the 8,000 subscribers are actually doing their job and going, wow, what is he posting? And they check my video. Usually my videos would get around 50 to 100 views, right? And now it's getting like 400, 500. And the previous, the largest one right now is like 150,000 views, which you don't see on the Tuesday. Anyways, stream the Projecttian Vanta Black album is out now. Make sure to check out the album. But always, we have mini tunes update on the scenario around Piggy. Piggy Intercity development has been delayed once again over to June 13 of 2026 because ultimately they said there are so many bugs and their team is being pushed to the corner and their mental health is not doing so well. So make sure to please cheer on, the team over there working on Pig Intercity. If Pig Intercity does happen to release that day, I will be playing it on my channel as fast as possible. If you want me to play more games that you think are interesting, please leave it down in the comments down below. I guess my Matt Compton video did its numbers, but we also have to talk about the Ice Block application. Well. If there's evil and there's a choice to be evil, why shouldn't evil not do evil? You gotta make sure you say this line in your head over and over. So Ice Block was taken down, right? Long ago, it was a thing that was around to track ICE agents with, because the people said, hey, if they're a public defense force, seemingly over, that's their job, is to deport people who are violent, dangerous criminals, supposedly they are. Aren't they considered public enforcement of some kind? Legally, we should be able to track them, as we can ask a police officer for their badge. We should be able to track ICE agents on the streets. And so, here we go. It finally happened. A federal judge just ruled that Trump improperly coerced Facebook and Apple to remove ICE tracking apps in violation of the First Amendment. Which, by the way, I was going to say this on my channel, but the application was taken down a few months ago because they said that the app was dangerous to breaking terms of service in Apple Store and in Facebook. So yeah, so it seems Meta has been adhering to over Donald Trump's demands along with Hegseth's demands, and Apple was folding over. I mean, you could find photos of Apple and Meta, the CEOs, Mark Zuckerberg, right, and Apple CEO, in the very same room as Donald Trump, saying, wow, what a great president, right? They said that and they took off Ice Block. Well, Ice Block is seemingly, it should be returning soon. In very short period of time, you'll be able to access the application Ice Block so that you can track ICE agents regardless of where you are, so you know where one could be nearby you, so you can avoid getting randomly kidnapped as a U.S. citizen who has nothing to do with violent crime at all, and not to get, to just keep your children safe. As much as governors say that this is to protect the kids on the internet, but they're not actually protecting the kids. Then I saw this post by Micah Irfan, and I want to say something. I want to give them a little bit of a just a sensical note. Alright. Micah Irfan. I absolutely am on siding with Democrats in many things, but there are things I do not side with Democrats on that I made an entire half-hour video on, begging people to say, can you vote somebody who is not going to be using Democrats as a way of being elected, right? People can just go over from Republican and turn themselves into a Democrat and still be anti-immigration, right? You gotta be careful with that. There are Democrats who are not good. First off, Illinois Democrats has passed legislation shielding children from predatory social media practices. Democrats protect children, Republicans protect pedophiles. Not exactly. If you read the fine lining, most Democrats are on par with keeping up surveillance laws and censorship laws that have to do with literally controlling our conduct on the internet and controlling our behavior. So they don't know what they're signing. The very man himself, which is in the photo, so you all know, and a lot of different Democrats have been supporting these laws like COSA, COSMA, COPPA 2.0, and Screen Act, the Train Act, and all these other abusive, laws and acts that should not be passed and should be reverse lobbied. And I'm going to get into that real soon. So, no, Democrats are not protecting children. The protect the children thing was already debunked, and debunked by global leading programmers, scientists, and computer scientists and researchers, which I put on video before saying that this is very heavy on suppression of the freedom of speech, which I've already said on this channel for over a year, which people still don't get, was supposed to be a right, that's not a luxury. Then we have something here that Ibella said, which I think would make sense, which I've told people to stop idolizing content creators that you like on the internet. She says, "Hi, here's your reminder to stop idolizing people you don't actually know, especially creators. Nobody's perfect, of course, but it doesn't mean we should be participating in blind adoration. Practice admiration without idolization." Absolute logic burger, everybody should know. But there's still some people out there, and let me tell you, why do I keep saying people? Well, they get insulted when I actually put their name in the question, but there's a lot of people I would want to yell in the face by saying you're a stupid retard for supporting such creator without having done your research. But I can't do that in this world, because seemingly if you say your opinion, you would get killed for it or beaten up on the ground for it. But I could care less. So here, without calling any names, there's some people out there who would idolize creators and say, but look, he has 3 million subscribers, Viz. He has better content than you. I'm like, the guy is a dumbass. Stop. The guy is a racist. He is a maggard. He loves the Nazis. Alright? He adores being discriminatory with people. They are a sexist. They are just a gamer. Their jokes are meant to be jokes. They have this thing called dark humor. Dark humor is not an excuse for their behavior. Stop it. There are there's numerous amounts of douchebags that I've exposed where people said that I'm coping, that I'm autistic, that I have a disease, that I'm seething on the internet because I'm jealous of their fame and their money. I'm like, no. I think we should stop idolizing a bunch of dumbasses and forming dumbass communities that lead to this dumbass drama in the first place. Guess who starts dramas? Dumbass people. So you get dumbass results. I hope that's logical enough to put into the brain for somebody. If you have an awful teacher, how will the class perform? If you're a kid, I want you to think for a second how this works. If you're a kid, if you have a really mean and rude teacher who barely cares about your grades, how will the students be? They wouldn't care about their school. They won't have manners. They will grow up thinking that's the right thing to do. They'll say that everybody treats them this way, they should treat back. It causes a chain of suffering and discontinuation, misunderstanding, and it causes people to be more negative than usual. If it's ingrained into the mind of a kid very early on, that's how they'll end up as an adult, most likely. Otherwise, whenever they hit 15, 16, they pivot and they're somewhere else better. But you can't always expect that with every person you meet. Then I want to say something about Jure. Jure has not been posting music very recently, and I will say, she says, I was feeling a bit bad for not releasing a song in so long, but I feel good having a break now. I want to take music more calm instead of seeing it as a task. It should be something I do when I feel like it. So I remember talking to this very artist and talking with their very best friend long ago. And I want to say, Jure, you burned out after a few EPs and albums. And I will say, look, if you don't like music, you shouldn't do music. Or you want to experiment with a few different genres and see where it goes. Alright? Stuff's really good. I will tell you, Jure, you make some good songs, but with the amount of times I've seen your DMs and all these posts that you're making, it's getting a little hard to understand what you truly want in life. So soon I hope you find what you want to do with your music. Then we have Netflix is launching a TikTok-style vertical video feed. It will allow users to scroll through clips, movies, and trailers. Nobody asked for it. Nobody asked for it. Not a single... I can look away 5 miles away and see that absolutely nobody asked for such a feature. It was being tested for a while, but now they're wanting to make it a full-on official thing, right? Why? Why? Why are we here? Why? And with that, I'm looking forward to Piggy Inner City. Please check out my music. Projecttian Roll Backshots is a really popular song now. So, I mean, if you want to check out the song of Projecttian Roll Backshots here, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to reach the 10K subscriber goal. 10,000 subscribers. We're trying to reach that. And we're trying to get this channel monetized. And finally on the right direction after all this time. So, stay safe. Leave a like on the video. Leave a comment down below. Join the Discord server in the description down below. And as always, stay safe.